Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iGPFun-F3 League presented by North World Sim. We are here live from Sebring International Raceway. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Joshua Lee with Marco Barbera in the booth. And we got another fantastic round of F3 action waiting for y'all today.
This is going to be one of the most exciting races of the season, in my opinion, here for the IGP Fun Series, because this track is so unique because turn one completely bumpy as long as the rest of the front straightaway, but the rest of the track almost newly paved, not a lot of bumps around, so the difference in track material is going to be crucial for these drivers to really get a hold of as those tires continue to wear, with the front stretch in turn one being so abrasive compared to the rest of the track. And also just the racing is better here at Sebring, known for the 12 hours of Sebring, known for other open-wheeled races as well, and the racing is going to be no different here in iRacing. It is going to be exciting, it's going to be fast, and it's going to be close.
Yeah, Sebring is known for respecting the bumps because it's very tricky to get a car set up absolutely to perfection around here. I would say it's the one of the hardest tracks to find that perfect setup to get right, as we are looking around the track right now here in open qualifying, and I believe Marco has something for us for apparently a special competition going on right now.
Thank you guys. Yes, we have been asked by the league organizer Luca Varani to do a random draw between 1 and 31, and we felt, of course, compelled to oblige. So on your screen right now, you should have you should have a black screen right now. So bear with me for a second. We have some technical difficulties, Austin, so if you can entertain the crowd in the meantime while I try to fix this mess.
Technical difficulties. Marco, why do you do this?
Okay, we are back, perfect. So yeah, you can see on your screen my beautiful mouse pointer and this beautiful wheel. So let's roll it.
Da 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 ba ba da 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 ba.
Perfect timing. The winning number is 25 to 5. So we will hear from Luca probably at the end of the broadcast. Thank you. We will hear from Luca at the end of the broadcast, and I think he will reveal who this number 25 is linked to, or I don't know, whatever. We will know. We have no idea. We just did but you know, if you want the prize and you want to, like, it's a monetary prize, you want to share half of your prize with me because I drew your number, you can contact me in private on iRacing. So back to you guys, and yeah, let's get on with the race.
Thank you, Marco, for bringing us into the studio for that little wheel of excitement as we're back here on track here at Sebring for the IGP Fun F3, and 25 minutes have gone by in qualifying, and it is over. And as always, the IGP Fun Series, a massive grid as always, 55 cars lining up for this start.
These grids are always huge, but they're always so clean going down into turn number one. I applaud the organizers of this league because they have a rule where you cannot go 3 wide going into turn number one. You have to stay 2 wide or single file. And I think that really helps with the first lap crashes that everybody knows if they've tried to race anything in iRacing. The first turn on the first lap is always treacherous. But here in this league, I commend all the organizers for adding that rule. It provides clean racing, but also still exciting racing going down to one, because 55 cars all diving into one corner at the same time on the same track is completely entertaining, as long as they don't wreck.
Yeah, and from my experience here in the F3 cars so far this week, I have yet to have a clean lap one here at Sebring. Personally, I haven't hit anybody. But in every race, somebody has always exploded, not in turn 1, but in turn 2. So, with this league, I'm really going to be excited to see all 55 of these cars go through this opening lap very smoothly, and it's always something special in this iGP league. It's an amazing photo opportunity to see this many cars out on track.
Qualifying just finishing up, last couple laps being put in. 1:53.572 fastest lap currently. And the spectrum of times is not that big compared to the first half of this field. Everybody pretty close up towards the top. It's going towards down the bottom that you really get those times that are a little bit outlier to one side. But the final drivers finishing up their times. Christopher Lolum going to keep his fastest time for the pole as everybody else makes their way across the start-finish line before we get started with this race. 24 laps on deck here on Apex Racing TV as qualifying continues to finish up. It's going to be an exciting one tonight, Austin. I can feel it.
Yeah, the hype is in the air right now, and also in qualifying, Raul J. Hyman is not on pole or even the front row of this race, so he's going to have a little bit of work cut out for him, but we might see the end to Raul Hyman's reign here today.
We could, but it seems like he always finds his way up front no matter where he has started. So I think we'll see Hyman battling up towards the front, but Alcaraz, Varani, Herbino, Wedstead, all familiar faces, but a non-familiar face up there starting on the pole.
Yeah, Christopher Loham starting up on pole, followed by Alex Alcaraz, Luca Ferrani, Raul J. Hyman, Christopher Herbino, Richard Wedstead, Vitilio Garcia, Julio Martini, Clark Williams, Dave Martin, Sony Rosario, Samuel Hermer, Matt Laubser, Marcus NG, Katie Height, Philip Lucas, Klaus Gruger, and Chuck Morrow in 18th. They're followed by Chris Chott, Damian V.A. Hall, Andy Flint, Lucas Lackner, Adam Talisman, Noah Allaire, Lucas Marouk, Yuri Beoser, Zoltan Zotamortu, Kuchiaido, Ben E. White, Rickard Bogberg, Stuart Minland, James Thues, Steve Rubens, Johan Biggisburn, Russell Kirkwood in 35th place, and they're followed by Nick Carty, Zachary Beeson, Antonio Rosetsky, Daniel Bond, Christopher Birch, Dirk Provley, David Denot, Reed Dennis, Ron McGuire, Giovanni Saletto, Richard Veen, Sergey Askevetev, Alex Hopkins, Patrick Rollins, Guy Brodsky, Luke Bray, Pedro Angel Oliveira, and Henry Robert, followed by Joe Walker and Don Satterfield at the end of the grid. And that is your qualifying grid here for the iGPFun-F3 League presented by North World Sim. 55 cars lined up and ready to go here.
Great job, Austin. I'll take results for you.
Thank you.
55 cars lining up on the grid, a couple of them starting all the way back in that last corner. The Sunset Bend turns 17. Huge grid size, but they're all getting ready to race behind those iRacing lights. Final cars getting on to the grid here at Sebring, an historic racetrack ready for 55 cars to take to its many turns, 17 turns in total, and they're about to have a car in each and every one of them as we go 5 red lights, and away we go. Let's go racing from Sebring International. Loham gets a great start. Alcaraz on his outside. He's going to be now behind him as they go 2 wide for third, all diving into turn number 1. That's Lucas Ferrani taking over third. Now side by side, Herbino going to take over that 4th spot. But still side by side now, the 38 and the 2. That's Hyman and Wedstead as they go through 3. And Hyman is off.
Hyman sliding it through turn 2, went wide, didn't collect any cars with there, but Raul J. Hyman, last week's winner. We got a car around and in the middle of the track. Massive incident.
Who is that behind? One car still in the grass. The 85, I think, might have had Philip Lucas around. I think the 85 might have had a little bit of front wing damage. But there you go, Philip Lucas in the 8 around, trying to get back going. As everybody else continues their first lap. There goes Wedstead. He's side by side with Vitolo Garcia.
Yeah, the 222 Ferrari is getting an entertainment shot. Oh my goodness!
Wedstead contact with Vitolo Garcia. He gets it back pointed the correct way, but he's dropping way down the order into 23rd.
That could have been absolutely disastrous if that car had damage right there, because he would have been stuck in the middle of the track and everyone would have plowed into him. And thankfully, he reversed off track and waited for everybody to get by before getting back here racing. As we're looking at the field right now, this is Clark Williams behind Samuel Herner and Dave Martin. So right on board the one of Samuel Herner, up 6 spots already here at the start of this race. And what is happening at the end of that straight?
One car was slow on the inside. Not exactly sure who it was. More carnage back here.
No, there was a car on top of another car.
Oh, Height's in the pits. Katie Height. Oh, one car around coming off of that final corner as well. Right back up to the front, though. Everybody is spaced out side by side. Herbino and Verani going into 3. Herbino gonna grab the spot.
What a move by Herbino. He saw that and he was setting it up, and Herbino went down to the inside and up into 3rd place. So we're going to bring up a replay. Here is what's happened at the start on board with Katie Height, and it's a drive-through penalty for a false start. Oh, no. Those are the ones that you just don't want to have. Get a little bit excited, and then next thing you know, you just mess up on the lights, because I've done it too. We've all done it, right?
I don't race roads, so I have not. I do rolling starts. Right. You can't jump the start on a rolling start.
Okay, get into a standing start lobby and you'll false start. I can guarantee.
I probably would. I have faith that I would completely jump a start. Laubser in the 31. Great try for him so far on lap 2, up to 10th. Started back in 13th, so he's up 3 spots. Now trying to battle Clark Williams in the 98 in front of him. And the 98 getting off of that rumble strip. But the 31 goes wide. Now he's going to open the door for Raul Hyman on the inside. He did not take that spot. He's now tucked in right behind a draft line going on down the Ullman straight. There goes the 31 to the inside. Laubser to the inside of Williams. So they head through Sunset Bend, and Hyman taking some cones on the outside.
Yeah, those cones had a fairly raw, but he's trying anything that he can to get ahead of these guys. And Raul Hyman is now aligned side by side, trying to swing around to the outside. He's going to lift off, but watch out heading into turn 2. We might see a switchback from Raul Hyman on Clark Williams.
There's Hyman in the 38. Going side by side, the 48 and the 39. Dave Martin, Matt Laubser. Dave Martin and Giolo Martini. Martini going to keep that spot, but there was a 48 right on the back bumper. You can't touch bumpers here in the F3 cars because they have a wing and no bumper on the back end. Definitely do not want to get contact. That front wing can come off very easily. One car on the grass. I believe that is Clark Williams in the 98. Yes, it is.
It was Williams, and that hairpin is so tricky. Right in front of that hotel right there, and as somebody who's driven on this track in real life, it is a very tricky corner to get right.
And the 98 of Clark Williams back going down to 17th now. Dropped a couple spots after that incident going into the grass. Has Nolan Allier right behind him. He's currently trying to get around Vitolo Garcia, the car ahead of him, for 16th. Another battle up towards the front. Dave Martin in the 48 goes wide over the rumble strips again. That's going to be a slowdown penalty. And around goes the 31 of Matt Laubser and Sonny Rosario in the 16 as well. Martin falls out of the top 10 into 11th.
That was a very nice rejoin by him. He made a mistake, went wide, didn't panic, get back onto the track, kept to the racing line, and then kept it a bit wide and didn't slow down immediately, just let everybody go by, and he's just staying to the outside of the track and serving his slowdown penalty within that new 36-second time limit.
On board with Dave Martin in the 48. Marcus G in the 44 was able to get around him. And he now sits in 12th as they go into the first turn. There's Chuck Morrow, almost makes contact coming off of turn 1. Morrow looks to the inside, not going to take it. A lot of bumps in that corner, didn't feel confident to keep that inside, so he now stays behind the 48 of Dave Martin.
Yeah, Sebring very hard to make an overtaking move, especially in a turn 2. The opportunity is there to set it up the inside, but the immediate right turn after it totally negates it, and then followed by the left turn. That will be your best run, but heading into that hairpin, this is probably your best opportunity to make a braking zone overtake. And also a good overtaking opportunity is this chicane, the right-hander and then the left-hander right here, but G swung it around to the outside, went very late on the brakes, and stayed in there in 12th.
Replay.
This is Rod McGuire behind the 920 of Antonio of Giamatti Stiletto, and Rod just, well, brakes failed.
McGuire now in the pits, back up to the front with Christopher Lullum. On your timing tower, it's going to say second, but he is leading. Some issues with Rob McGuire going into the pits. There goes Lullum back up to the lead on your timing tower. There was Alcaraz right back into second, everything fixing itself properly. And Lullum a lot faster than Alcaraz, and he's continuing to pull away. I think this might be Christopher Lullum's race to lose, especially with the constant winner of the past couple weeks, Ryle Hyman, down in 7th.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Gee, getting into the side of Morrow right there, as they almost went 3 wide heading into turn 1. G just trying to find his room, and there's still contact right behind him between Garcia and Morrow.
They're right behind each other as they dive back to the inside. Chuck Morrow trying to catch Vitolo Garcia up ahead of him. Long straightaway, great drafting opportunity in that slipstream. He'll pop to the outside. How's this going to work going into this corner?
Oh, he got
Contact,
beat.
and he spins to 22.
Oh, no. There's more incident. Flint is also
Andy Flint at
involved.
13.
No, that is, you just don't want to see it. He was beat on the inside in the braking zone, and Chuck tried to go for a switchback. Wasn't expecting him to be right there, and turned him around, and then, Andy Flint was collected from
Hard
behind.
Nothing Andy Flint could do there.
Yeah, it was hit from behind. What has happened to Andy Flint? We'll try to get a replay of that very soon.
Alex Alcaraz, and he has a mirror full of Christophe Herbino. Down to the inside goes the 92. Through the high-speed sunset bend. Herbino inside, Alcaraz outside. They're still side by side as they come onto the front straightaway.
Herbino held that inside line very well, but now the outside line of Alcaraz is going to be in favor because he has a speed off the exit, but heading into turn 1, that's going to go advantage back to Herbino. And Alcaraz holding that inside line, pushing Herbino all the way off into the grass. This is a rally stage, apparently. Getting back into the braking zone. Alex Alcaraz stays in second place, but watch out for Christopher Herbino. He's going to be looking for a great run heading into that hairpin underneath the bridge. He's all up in that draft behind that Thrustmaster Northworld Sim car. 3 wide for a brief second. Herbino, Alcaraz, side by side. Herbino sends it on the braking, up, down the inside, and Christopher Herbino up into second place.
Great move from Herbino to use the slipstream, got down to the inside. Great maneuver going into that corner, but we still have a battle back here between Varani and Wedstead. Can Varani keep this spot away from Richard Wedstead? They are battling for 4th. What is going to happen? They're going to come onto this long straightaway. Will he be able to use the slipstream and get around him? Wedstead behind Varani. Using that draft to his advantage. High-speed corner. No need to use the brakes there. Wedstead cannot get close enough even with that slipstream. We go back up to Herbino, who's trying to defend from Alcaraz because 5 seconds up the road is Christopher Lullum. You can see the 33. That is a lapped car of Richard Van Veen. No need to worry about him. There's your leader, Christopher Lullum, just now coming onto the front straightaway. And you can see Herbino and Alcaraz have not even started the Sunset Bend. They now go through the Sunset Bend, the final corner of the racetrack. So Herbino and Alcaraz fighting their own race as Lullum continues to pull away 5 seconds up the road from these two. Herbino's main focus right now should be to keep Alcaraz behind him as they dive back into turn number 1. Couple car lengths in between the two. Great exit from Herbino. Being smart about his driving.
What these guys need to do is stop worrying about the car behind him and start focusing on the pace and try to catch up to Christopher Lullum. Because Herbino and Alcaraz, both these guys had the pace, and Herbino, he actually set some purple sector times earlier on in this race, so he definitely knows how to go fast. But that clean air of Christopher Lullum definitely helping out. As these guys race around Sebring, it's not only a race for the a race against each other, but it's also a race against the track. As we see Zachary Beeson go off track, spin around, almost gets collected by other cars as everyone's setting it into a turn 2. But Sebring is a massive race against the track yourself, and you're feeling, especially in a 12-hour race where sometimes you'll just be like, hey, I'm just going to give you room down the front straight, and next thing you know, you'll hit a pit wall and then go skyrocketing, careening end over end, and then flipping a Corvette over the wall into somebody's RV.
That story sounded very specific, Austin.
Yes, it did. And to my team, it was probably the most hilarious thing they've ever seen.
Pedro Oliveira, I haven't talked about him much so far today. 65, running his own race in between Maruk and Talsma. Everyone kind of calmed down from the beginning of the race. Not a lot of battles throughout the midfield. Herbino and Alcaraz still fairly close together, but there's your leader, Christopher Lullum, and he's running overall slower laps than Herbino, but you can see he just on that last lap, lap 7, got a little faster on his lap time. Herbino trying to catch up, but you can see Lullum running very consistent lap times, and I believe that 154.484 was the best lap of the session when he put that one in on lap 4, and it still is the best one of the session, I believe. There's Wedstead and Varani as they go side by side. Wedstead getting that nose right on the outside. We've seen many moves happen going down to that corner. Wedstead loose on the outside, and he's not going to get that spot. Varani keeps fourth.
Little bit of a tap right there mid-corner. It's so tricky to get that absolutely right, but watch out, Varani, because we know how Luca Richard likes to send it when you aren't expecting it. It's 2-2-2 versus the 2, and these guys are racing for fourth. Be great if they were racing for second, because that joke would have been even better. If they were teammates, Wedstead looking for more opportunistic moves. He definitely has the speed on Varani through that sector right there. And as I said that, I have cursed Wedstead. I am sorry. Big damage to that wing, but we saw Wedstead just pushing his car to the limits, trying to go for that excellent end, just gets onto the curb, and then through that outside pavement of the track, got into the marbles, and then just ripped his wing into bits with that other car of, I believe that was Hermer. Yeah, Samuel Hermer right here, and Hermer,
That was just unfortunate because he didn't really have that many places to go. Possibly thought Wedstead was going to go further up the track, and just a slight tap to that front wing, and that's enough to slow you down and force you to basically go into the pits as Wedstead is in. Looks like a fresh pair of tires going on, as well as his faster pair, and he's down and away. Rosario and Martin going side by side. Dave Martin was running up towards the front. He's fallen all the way back to 10th now, where he started the race. So he's back to ground zero as he tries to now get back around Sonny Rosario.
Yeah, Dave Martin, very up and down race, but I can tell you somebody who's had it.
Oh, locked up. Oh, and they're around. Oh, no!
He's hit G.
Marcus G!
And he's
oh,
in
the 33!
Sonny Rosario. And that is not good for G. Well, I think this is the downward trend of the race now. And back on the roller coaster, Dave Martin goes. Here's that replay again from this lovely chase cam we got going in here. And it's just a mistake on the braking end. A hit, and then a little bit of acceleration. Tries to...
He tried to get it back going forward, I'll give him that, but with everybody trying to get around him, it might not have been the best time to attempt that.
It's like the gif of the pit crew trying to do a pit stop and the floor is greased and they all just start sliding around and just chaos. And what has happened to Kuchi Aido's car? He just disintegrated mid-corner. Slow motion and just a light tap right there, but yeah, what falls apart, just like some people's suspension sometimes. And we got a Formula Ford in the field.
That no rear wing is definitely not the most aerodynamic choice. You would think it is, but does not work really well in practice.
Fun fact, the diffuser in the Dallara F3 car actually provides most of the rear end downforce than that wing. So he's actually still kind of planted. Still, he's a bit disabled. Actually hits a cone on his way into the pit lane. But yeah, fun fact, that diffuser was very powerful in these cars. And a lot of smoke right now. And off the track, that was Beeson.
Oh, the 76 of Nick Carty with a lot of damage to the back end.
Oh, Carty's driving a tractor.
Oh, and he is not going to go very far on that. He's going to have to retire that.
Yeah. It's not the most efficient tractor. One-wheel drive.
Lucas Lackner in a 3-car battle. I believe that is Thulis and Soletto behind him. Now he's stuck in the middle of Robert and Thulis. Henry Robert in the 920 ahead of him. Lackner, one of the best paint schemes. Honestly, that team has some of the best paint schemes in the field, I think, with that great-looking metallic gold with the red combo.
Yeah, as a fan of gold, I really like that. And as this race starts to spread out, and a few incidents have happened, one thing we like to cover here is the amount of positions gained by a driver, and that number is usually in the 20s. We got one of the 38s, our biggest mover, Pedro H. Oliveira, up 38 spots, and he's sitting in 14th. And that might go up just a little bit more as we ride on board of the 65 of Pedro H. Oliveira.
Up 38 spots. He started back in 52nd, or sorry, 52nd, I believe. An insane amount of positions to gain.
One of the, I believe he was the only driver in that very last group to set a lap time, but I think he might have not set a lap time, to be honest. Might have started 5th. Yeah, you're right. He didn't set a lap time. And going for that plus 38 record is also Henry Robert, who's up 30 spots right now.
A lot of great drives going on throughout the field, and with all those wrecks, it really gives an opportunity for the drivers that normally would be towards the back to kind of rebound and get their way up towards the front. You might call it free spots. I call it free opportunity for all those drivers who might not be as fast as the leaders. They have an opportunity to get up there and run with them and get a good finish with all the other opportunities that they have and all their opponents being taken out as a 7 goes up the inside of Christian Britch in the 17 as they continue to battle.
The Shadow Realm
15th.
The Shadow Realm giveth and the Shadow Realm taketh away. Not really much of a Shadow Realm here in Sebring, but you get the idea. There's anything could happen here around Sebring. We just saw a car disintegrate on its own. Pretty sure there was netcode involved in there, but yeah, that happened. As Birch and Lackner side by side, almost going 3 wide. Oh, this might be a little bit tricky.
Oh!
And, oh no! Big contact.
Oh, he's around.
Goes Birch. He's got big damage. Yeah, that back right wheel is off. And he's right next to the pit. So not a big run for him, but he's got to be just shaking his head at that.
An unfortunate end to, I'll say end to his race. He can still get that fast spare and get back on the track, but he's lost a lot of track position now. But it's an unfortunate move made on him by the 85 of Lucas Lackner, running right into him, going into that braking zone. Speaking of braking zone, Wedstead making a pass on Clark Williams in the 98. The two going to move up to 15th. Wedstead trying to fight back.
You know, halfway through this lap, we're halfway through this race, lap 12 of 24 here at Sebring. And man, this race has been and still is extremely interesting from the start all the way to the midfield. And I kind of want to bring up my favorite feature of this race. Let's bring up our dancing dots of doom on the minimap. And yep, no clear part of the track.
There are people everywhere.
Absolutely everywhere, and all these guys here in the iGP Fun League are having a blast with it. The iGP Fun League is brought to you by North World Sim. Find a bunch of great sim racing products on northworldsim.com. And having them support this series and making all this possible with 55 cars on track. I'm pretty sure some of these guys who want to make some improvements might want to go looking into getting some North World Sim products, or if you're getting into sim racing, head over there and see what you can find for beginners. Pretty sure my dad, when he said he's retiring and getting on iRacing, and I'm very excited to start having battles with him.
On board with Wedstead, trying to catch Pedro Oliveira up ahead of him in the 14. Wedstead using that draft. We've seen this move a lot right down into this corner right here. The braking zone is very hard, and you're going so fast into that corner that you're able to really get up to the inside or the outside of a driver. But you need to be able to complete the pass as another long straightaway is here. Wedstead gonna peek to the outside. Will he complete the pass? They're still side by side, not giving any room. There goes Wedstead right around. He's gonna close the door. Great maneuver by Wedstead. Oh, but he's in the dirt.
Ooh, that was a great switch by Wedstead right there. A little bit of a panic move, almost came across the nose. We go side by side for the battle for 10th. Trot and Alair side by side. A little bit of a drag race going on. Chris Trot does have the draft advantage on the outside line. Very tricky at battling those bumps on the inside. Alair trying to hold it down onto the inside, but unfortunately couldn't do it as Chris Trot held that line around the outside, staying in 10th place. But this battle is still going on. Heading into turn 1 now. Here comes Alair.
Oh my God, you're very close to Trot up ahead.
These guys are battling the limits of these brakes and these tires as if you can just hear them struggling for grip heading into turn 2. Alir is using everything in these tires to try to get past Trot. And these guys are going pretty fast right now. They're catching up to Martin in 9th.
I wonder if they'll be able to catch Dave Martin. He's had an up and down race, like you said earlier, up to 9th, but he has been down in 10th a couple of times today.
Well, he qualified
They're catching up ahead of him. He did qualify in 10th, so he did start there, and he went up and then right back down to 10th, and now he's up to 9th, so he's up 1 spot overall.
Well, from that incident in turn 2, in that hairpin, and so he went down, up, and then down. He's had a yo-yo of a race.
Certainly has.
What happened to yo-yos?
I think there's still a thing.
I never seen them. Like, I used to see them everywhere. If you have a yo-yo, please type in the chat, because I want to know.
Also, comment what brand of yo-yos you have. What brands do they got of them? Also, I wonder if there's yo-yo, professional yo-yo competitions out there.
There is.
We should commentate one of those also.
No.
All right, we'll keep the commentating out racing then, because Trot is catching up to Dave Martin, and so is the car behind him of Nolan Allier. But here goes Morrow and Williams diving right through the sunset bend, and they're going to get very close together. Clark Williams was in an incident earlier, fought back. He's in 15th now with Chuck Morrow behind. And Morrow wants that top 5.
Ooh, very tricky exit by the 47 right there. Dirk probably almost squeezing Height and Robert bouncing up against the wall, almost hitting that ramp right there.
Oh, they're still going to go side by side, 47 and 69. Height to the inside, grabs that spot.
Height, after having that drive-through penalty at the very start of this race, is up into 20th.
Oh, back to Alir and Trot, side by side.
What a send down the inside by Trot. Finally gets past Nolan Allier. Actually, no, he got right past Alir. Alir got past Trot, then Trot got it right back.
Now Thulis and Maruk gonna go battling through. Can Maruk get by him? Thulis goes up and closes the door. Oh, a big battle going on. Lackner, Talsma side by side. Lackner grabs the spot.
Now, Lucas. Oh no, Alir is around. Coming onto the straight. And I think this is just a case of just getting into the curb and into the grass and a little bit too happy on the mustard. As we head through Le Mans right here. Gets onto the curb on the inside, and that's upset the car and a little bit of a tap to the wall. Very unfortunate for Nolan Allier. It's a little bit too much, and that'll Sebring, she'll bite you.
It definitely bit him. Look at that gap graphic. Thank you, Marco, for that, because that is actually one of my favorite graphics that we have on the SDK. It is the kind of gap table, and you can really see the gap and how it has grown from lap 10 to 15, and Lolum continues to pull away. We've seen it in this series week in, week out. The leader with clean track, clean air, can run consistent lap times every time by. And you can see, like, almost no change in the lap times with the tires and the weather, no changes in those lap times. He is running so consistently, and that is why he's continuing to pull away from Herbino and the rest of the fields. They're almost 7 seconds now behind the road.
Talk about biting. He's taking a bite out of the field right now. Back to Alir, and who's now battling with Wetstead. Wetstead sends it up the inside and into 12th place. That number 2 car. We saw him spin out in exactly the same spot that Alir did when he was battling with Luca Verarni for 4th place.
Wetstead got around the Lar for P12. Still has Zoltan Zomotor and Chris Trott up ahead of him in 10th and 11th. There's Zomotor in the 747. Not the plane, the car number. And that gap is shortening between him and Wedstead. So Wedstead is coming with a mission right now. 9 seconds separate those two. Now down to 8.3 in the live gap. And there's Zomotor and Wedstead's lap time comparisons. Wedstead much faster than Zomotor. It's just a matter of time if Wedstead can continue to run consistent laps. 156 flat for Zomotor last time by. Wedstead's time is in over 1.2 seconds less than Zomotor's time. So here comes Wedstead as he tries to catch this 747. Again, the car number, not the plane.
Yeah, he's 8 seconds behind him, so he's going to be on the bumper of Zomotor and that 74.7, the car, not the plane. And at the end of this race, so that battle's going to be very excited to watch coming these final laps as we're launching this battle for 14 between Olivier and Williams as they're racing down underneath that mobile one sign heading into the hairpin. Ascent from here is not even feasible, but I've seen it attempted to skip Barber. I've been on the receiving end of it twice. Once
You
in
hear
a,
the pain in your voice in that, Austin.
once in a skip Barber, a lot of times in a GTE versus the LMP2 car. Very fun. Very fun time.
Williams is not having a fun time right now trying to chase down Oliveira because he is not doing a good job of it, but Oliveira goes right around. There's the commentator's curse striking once again.
He's having a fun time now.
Oh, he certainly is.
And that is extremely unfortunate. Pedro H. Oliveira, biggest mover in the field, still is the biggest mover in the field, was up 38 spots. Now is up 36 from where they qualified. And Henry Robert is a few more positions closer to fighting for that biggest mover battle. They're up 30 spots.
Maruk trying to hold off Dirk Prawley behind him in the 47. Probably up 20 spots today. Starting 41st up to 21st. Great drive from him, but he has Maruk up ahead of him that he still needs to try and get around. And that is a long line of cars down the straightaway, all trying to get a slipstream off of each other, as Maruk is going to keep that spot through the sunset bend. The 47 look to the inside, not able to make anything happen.
Yeah, it's a big train right now, and all aboard the Maruk train. Choo-choo. Oh, we got a pink cat around it. We're going 3 wide in turn one.
Goodness.
Surprise move down the inside from Midland, who Stewart just came out of nowhere and sent it in there. The Scotsman absolutely showing his skill right there.
And there goes Lucas Maruk. He's still in front of this train. Henry Robert now in this battle in the 920 as Philip Lucas behind him. Up the road, he's got Dirk Probably. There goes Philip Lucas to the inside of both cars. Double overtake.
Side by side, both in this pack. Maruk and Milan, both of them going side by side. And Milan sends it down to the inside and jumps up. And now it's all aboard the Milan train.
Oh,
Back
probably almost had Henry Robert up his inside.
Ooh, stop. That's Alier again. Stopped, and he's going to flip that car around. He's going to lose a spot to Mauro. And here's Oliveira. And look at that front right of the car. Absolutely destroyed. Very scraped up nose. Is going to be just limping it back into the pit lane. That's right on board with Nolan Alier. And it's Lamont. Just, oh, that curb on the entry. Got the curb off the exit. Car got up in the air. And he just managed to find the only part of the wall that doesn't have tires on it.
That is a very unfortunate wreck for him, and he's going to go right into the pits, grab that fast repair. As we are nearing in on 5 to go. There's Herbino, who set the fastest lap now. 154.352. He's trying to catch Christopher Lolum, but he is so far up the road. 7 seconds, the live gap between these two. But it seems like it is mainly a two-horse battle between Lolum and Herbino. It's Herbino last time by 2/10 faster, but I think that was because of Lolum trying to get by that lapped car you just saw right behind.
Yeah, Lolum had a little bit of a tricky business with a few lapped cars that time by. There's a massive pack in front of him. With 4 laps, he can catch this group, and, you know, anything can still happen, because that's 29th all the way to 37th in front of him. And just one misplaced corner by one of those cars in front of him might careen a car into his, and we might have a new leader. So he's still got to stay on his toes, especially when lapping other cars.
Henry Robert battling Dirk probably once again. There goes Lucas Marouk joining this fight. 3 cars sparring together. The 920 of Henry Robert right in the middle. He's going to touch the grass, or the dirt, I should say, coming off of that rumble strip. Still good. Did not get that car spun around, and he is going to continue to battle probably up ahead of him. Will he be able to pass him? Here comes this long straightaway they're coming up on. A great slipstream opportunity. If they can do it right, he might have some opportunity going down to the Sunset Bend, but probably is in the grass. There goes Henry Robert in the 920.
Great move by Robert. He stayed out of there and forced him to stay for probably just trying to defend a little bit too much. And that's what happens when you just dance in the mirror of the car ahead. You get them a little bit nervous, and you start playing those mind games as we have a replay of Raul J. Hyman, last week's winner and the winner before that. And he's on his own, and we've all done this one right here. Just a little bit too much off the exit, got into the dirt, and around they go. Probably the most consistent incident spot here at Sebring, especially in practice sessions. And Dave Martin, big locked-up corner entry into the hairpin. Just looks like the brakes just went straight to 100%. Matt Laubser skidding 38, cutting off the nose, and I think he's scared of the 38. Wasn't even expecting him, and around goes Matt before he gets back on track. And they've had incidents onto Dave Martin, who is just ahead of Wedstead, who is close up to him now.
Will Wedstead be able to get around Dave Martin for that 11th spot? He's running out of time, only 4 laps to go. Using that draft, that slipstream coming off the car in front, not able to get close enough to make a move going into this final corner. So Martin in the 48 going to keep that spot for now. And look at this battle. Oliveira battling Morrow and Lochner. We've seen Lucas Lochner make some bold moves going into the Sunset Bend before, but this time it's going to be Pedro Oliveira to the inside of Morrow, and he's going to grab that spot side by side on the front straightaway.
That dive was insane by Oliveira. Went from the outside straight onto the inside, almost kissing the inside wall, and he's going to try to swing it around the outside for 14th place. Pedro H. Oliveira up 38 spots into 14th, and yeah, they feeling good.
They're going to run out of time of battling. Like I said, 4 laps to go. They're going to need the battle right now, but the 47 contact with the 49. That's Milne and Probably.
Probably making contact with the Scotsman, and now Bauberg, Marouk, and Sileto chasing in on him, and there might be some damage on that 47 with the side pod. He is very slow on the straight. Side by side to the hairpin. Very nicely felt by both these guys. Car went spinning around in the background. That was Andy Flint, who's had multiple incidents there today.
Very unfortunate for Andy Flint.
Sileto.
tried to make it work up the inside. He had to get out of it and lose that spot to Lucas Maruk as they are battling for 22nd. There was Maruk right around the 47 of Probably. I wonder if he has some damage to that 47 car.
Yeah, I mentioned he might have some side pod damage, and I don't see any aero damage, but when you have an incident like that, it kind of just messes with your confidence a little bit. And racing is a very mental sport. You have to be on top of it, or else you're just going to be a little bit unmotivated for the rest of the few corners until you get your head in the right space. As we're looking at the battle for 15 between Maru and Thulius. And it looks like Maru has damage. Yes, he does. Look at that front wing. Looks like a deformed Fritos chip. Maruk has the same damage on the wing as well. And there's Stiletto setting it down the inside up for 24th place. And now they're chasing Provely in 23rd. Also battles throughout the field. This is Dennis and Birch. Both these guys are probably trying to forget Sebring immediately and immediately go to another track, as might notice that gold car on the inside of him. That's the 26. That is Alex Alcaraz in third place, lapping him.
Alcaraz in third, a good finish for him if he can keep that spot with 2 laps to go. The battle between Herbino and Lolum is no battle right now, as it is 6 seconds, the gap between those two. On replay of Herbino, just past the 37, a lapped car. And he goes off track, got a little loose coming off of turn 1. Did not hurt him too much, but the gap is still 8.9 seconds between first and second. So it looks like Herbino just holding on to second right now. I don't think he's going to have any chance to catch Lolum, but he is going to keep pulling away from Alcaraz. You can see those lap time differences over the past 5 laps, and Herbino pulling away from Alcaraz on all but 1 lap.
Yeah, Herbino is just doing his own thing right now. I think he's not concerned about trying to catch up to Christopher Lohan. 2 laps remaining here at Sebring. It's going to be nearly impossible unless, well, things happen. And I'm pretty sure those things are not going to happen because they're very rare things. As Alcaraz swinging around the outside.
Whoa!
Happened right there. That's a 37 round.
Sergei Aksentiev.
Sergey is around, and he's getting his car back, going straight again as Lohan comes across the line. The white flag is in the air for the IGP Fun League at Sebring, presented by North World Sim. Christopher Lohan started on pole, set the fastest lap of the race, and he's led every lap. I think he's looking for a grand slam here today. Almost getting into the bumper of the car in front of him that he tried, and that almost ended very badly.
What is going on back here? That's Trott, Zometer, and Wedstead in a 3-car battle. They're coming to take the white flag. Will anyone go for a move? There's Zometer behind Trott, but Trott's going to keep that spot. They're all battling for P9. Wedstead is battling for a top 10 as he sends it up the inside of Zometer. They're side by side for this 10th spot.
Zometer and Wedstead side by side. I think Zometer was just purposely being slow that time by and just studying Trott's move, and he wasn't expecting Wedstead to finalize on that move round the outside. And Wedstead into 10th place, and I think that number 2 is on fire right now, as he caught up to 747 on the last lap. The car, not the plane.
You gotta really, these cars look a lot like 747s. You gotta make sure what you're exactly talking about.
Very small and flimsy 747s. Unless you're playing Microsoft Flight Simulator, then you get to zoom out, and then it will look like a 747 from very far away. And if it gets airborne.
Blackner and Thulis battling. This is for 15th. But there goes Lolham on the front straightaway. Dominant day, leads every lap, and he's going to take the win. Urbano going to come home in second with Alex Alcaraz rounding out your top three. That is your podium drivers.
Luca Verarni in that 2:22. He comes cross line and finishes in 5th, just ahead of Samuel Hermer. And 5th place, as we're watching our battle for 9th place between Trott, Wedstead, and Zomotor. Wedstead trying to get into 9th place at the start of this field, and he's got a great run coming out onto the curbs. He's all up in that draft right now. Wheel to wheel. Oh my goodness, Zomotor has exploded behind him. And they're going to go side by side, heading into Sunset Bend. Wedstead, Trott, side by side, still side by side. Trott trying to hold it around the outside, trying to get that speed off the exit. Big wheel from Wedstead right there. Trott trying for the switch up, but it's going to be a drag race here at Sebring. Wedstead in 9th place, Trott in 10th. What is happening to Zomotor?
A great drive for Wedstead. Zomotor dropped down to 12th. There goes Dave Martin in the 48. Just took the checkered flag for 11th. Zomotor just took the checkered flag for 12th. Clark Williams takes 13th. Oliveira is going to complete his race in 14th. And here comes Lackner right in front of Thulis. Last minute, not going to make that pass happen.
Lackner was incredibly late on the brakes heading into Sunset Bend. So looking at the battle for 2014, Maruk and Flint. Flint and Maruk, both these guys been having very rough races. Maruk does have some wing damage. This might be able to hurt him in this final corner. We'll see if Flint has anything in store for the 19, but it's going to be the 19 of Maruk finishing in 24th ahead of Flint in 25th. They're followed by the Scotsman Milan in 26th, Talsma in 27th, G. Ruzetsky in 29th, and I believe all of our cars have crossed the finish line.
55 cars crossing the finish line, and away we go. Christopher Lolham wins the race with Christoph Herbino in second, Alex Alcaraz in third, Luca Verani fourth, Samuel Hermer fifth, followed by Gianluca Martini, Raul Hyman, Matt Laubser, Richard Wedstead, and Chris Trott, rounding out your top 10. Then Dave Martin, Zoltan Zomotor, Clark Williams, Pedro Oliveira, Lucas Lackner, James Thulis, Katie Height, Chuck Morrow. Moving down the order, Philip Lucas and Henry Robert will round out your top 20 with Rickard Boberg, Dirk Provoli, Giovanni Saletto, Lucas Maruk, Andy Flint, Stuart Milne, Adam Talsma, followed by Marcus G. and Antonio Ruzevsky and Nolan Ollier for your top 30. Daniel Bond, Reed Dennis, Christian Birch, Sergei Aksentiev, Kuji Ito, Alex Hopkins, Damian V. Hall, Richard Veen. Rounding out your top 40 is Rod McGuire and Vitolo Garcia. Then David Dendelot, Zachary Beeson, Russell Kirkwood, Nick Carty, Steve Rubens, Sonny Rosario, Johan Bergeson, Luke Bray, Guy Brodsky, Yuri Biosier, Ben White, Patrick Rowlands, Klaus Cougar, Joe Walker, and Don Satterfield, rounding out your entire 55-car finishing order for the IGP Fun Series at Sebring. Austin, please send these people out. Oh, we have an interview.
Yeah, first we have a very special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Luca Verardi, who at the start of this race, asked us to spin a very special wheel with a very amazing musical track, and despite small technical difficulties, we ended up getting that wheel and that special number. And before we reveal that number, Luca, what was this wheel for?
Hi guys, thanks for the broadcast as usually. We have a real-life driver in the IGP Fun Series. He was a former Formula Indy driver. He won at Barber. He was third at Indianapolis. And he offered to be a coach for 1 hour to some IGP Fun drivers, somebody that supported the broadcast. So this is what it is about.
Well, that is a very big, that's a very big prize for some of these guys. And to whoever, Marco, I believe it was number 25 we drew. Was it? It was 25. Was our number that we drew at the very start of the broadcast. So, yeah, Hugh drew 25.
I'm getting it, just a second. Number 25 is Clark Williams, actually.
Oh,
Very happy.
Clark
Yeah, very happy
Williams.
good to him. He has been with us since the very first race of IGP Fun in iRacing back in 2014. So very, very happy he gets the prize.
Clark Williams, come on down.
He's not in the Discord.
That would have been great if he was in the interview waiting room, though.
Doesn't seem to be.
All right, well, Clark Williams winning that prize with the 1 hour coaching from the IndyCar race winner coach who I'm guessing they're renaming nameless, or are you allowed to say their name?
I think I can. It's Vitolo Garcia, who is a Spanish driver and very accomplished racing driver.
Let's see. I actually met them before.
And you know, if I can advertise the league a little bit, we have on track Raul Hyman. He was the Asian Formula 3 champion in 2018. We had somebody who arrived second at the Car World Championship, somebody who arrived seventh. So, I mean, the field is competitive. We cannot complain.
Yeah, the IGP Fun series is incredibly competitive. A lot of experience on track and a lot of cars, a lot of experience, and a lot of great racing here at Sebring. Luca, before we let you go, anyone you want to thank about here in IGP Fun and anyone in the series?
Everybody who races, of course, you guys for the broadcast, and our sponsor. We have Northwinds Sim Racing. They prepare custom-made pedals, rigs, and the likes. I highly recommend their shop, and we might have a surprise for them for some of the viewers in the next few races. So stay tuned. There might be another spin the wheel event.
All right, well, I'll get working on my musical tones then. Thank you, Luca, for joining us in the commentary box, and thank you everybody here for joining us for another fantastic round of the iGPFun-F3 League here on Apex Racing TV and on the iRacing Esports Network. I've been joined by Joshua Lee with Marco Barbonera in the studio, giving us all these cameras, all these angles, all these graphics, and that beautiful wheel. And I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a great night.